Everybody. Normally, I would, have a theme song or a flashy intro or something like that, but I decided, let's keep it kind of low key this time around. This is just meant to be a little bit of a a hangout time. Just going to show off my Christmas haul. Nathan March, and by the way, welcome to But I Digress. I haven't done one of these in forever because, I'm doing podcasting and stuff now. I honestly don't know if anybody's going to be here tonight, but if all else fails, you can reference the VOD. Like I said, I just wanted to have a little bit of fun tonight. Got my very Charlie Brown Christmas tree still up. You might be wondering why in the heck do I still have all this stuff up when, it's well after Christmas, almost 2 weeks at this point. Well, funny thing, if you've ever, obviously you've heard the song The 12 Days of Christmas. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that the 12 days of Christmas obviously starts on December 25th and it goes all the way to January 6th because in some church traditions, not mine necessarily, but in some church traditions, they celebrate a thing called Epiphany. And tonight is Epiphany. So, I'm not much into Epiphany, but I figured, hey, by happenstance, I've got time to do this stream on Friday night. I got some Trans-Siberian Orchestra playing. I don't know how well you can hear that. If anybody's watching, let me know if you can actually hear the music playing in the background. It's just some nice ambiance. I'm going to be taking down all my Christmas stuff after tonight. I think my mom is actually doing a little bit of something for Epiphany just because she feels like doing it. But anyway, let me know in the chat, how your Christmas went, what you got for Christmas, if you got anything similar to what I got here. Now, can't really see most of the stuff. I have it here under the tree. I was trying to figure out how to set up the laptop with the camera and everything, and I was hoping to get it down here where you can see everything under the tree, but it just wasn't working. So I have it set up like this. You can't really see anything. But I have all of these kind of divided up into a handful of different categories, and and I'm going to try to get like some of the more boring stuff out of the way first. As per usual, I got a lot of food, some of which I admittedly have already eaten. So, Reese's Pieces, can't go wrong there. I love Reese's stuff. My friend, this is one of a bunch of stuff. I like. My friend Sergio got me a Sour Patch Kids. He likes getting all of his friends like bags and bags of like care packages with a bunch of random stuff in it. A lot of it's either candy, junk food, or health related stuff. It's really funny, to be honest. So, this was part of what he gave me. Another thing that he gave me, I'm just grabbing some random stuff here, is I got, because I love hot cocoa, so he got hot cocoa, but then he got me this is not simply a mug. I don't know how well you can say this. This is not just a mug. It is a goblet. Oh, it might help if I showed you the front. Tis a goblet, see? See? Goblet. I still need to open this thing. I'm really curious to see what a hot cocoa coffee goblet is supposed to be like. It's the Mandalorian, obviously. So, thanks, Sergio, if you're watching this. I appreciate it. And what else? It gave me a funny little like dinosaur cup here. It had a bunch of candy in it. I've eaten a lot of it already. Still has the candy canes. Don't know if I'll eat them or use them for the tree. That's just how things roll around here. Let me see what else. Some random, Lind chocolate here. Let me see. I don't know. This wasn't from him. This was a random thing that in a box of stuff that I got from my parents. This is from. This is a thing. All right. I've actually got stuff here that's podcast related, but this right here, this is from Sweetwater Sounds because I got my sister got me a couple of things from Sweetwater Sound, and what Sweetwater Sound does, it's one of their traditions, gimmicks, whatever you want to call it, is every time you buy something there, particularly if it's something big and expensive, they give you a little bag of candy here like this. So it's it's just a grab bag of stuff. Oh, got Laffy Taffy in there, and my sister, because she got me a few things there, gave me the bag of candy. So I'll have a little bit of it here on the stream, a little Tootsie Roll here. But and like I said, Sergio gets me junk food, so, some Mountain Dew here. Hey, Brad, nice to see you. Having candy for dinner, huh? Oh, your mother would be very disappointed, I'm just saying. Well, hello to you, Mr. Hamilton, if that is your real name. Or should we call you Canadian Baconton? If our friend Chris Cook was in the chat right now, he'd be screaming at me. But let me see. Another thing Sergio got me in that bag, and that care package of food is, it's a popcorn tin. Can't go wrong with a popcorn tin. But here are the really, well, you know what? No, I'm going to save those for later. This is something from my parents. It's a little cookie jar thing. And it had a bag of pretzel balls in it. And, I love me some pretzels. It's one of my favorite snacks right there. But here are the two wackiest things in the food category that I got to show you. Both of these are from Sergio. First off, like I said, Sergio in his care packages likes to give people giant things of candy. So one of our friends who's a really big health nut, he got him a package that had these 2 half-pound peanut butter cups. And I'm like, dude, you realize peanut butter cups are my favorite candy, right? So he didn't do that. But he didn't get me that. No, he got me the mother of all Kit Kats. Now, I thought it was one giant Kit Kat because, we live in America and this is the kind of madness that we'll do in this country. No, this is just a giant thing. You can hear it rattling. It's just a bunch of smaller Kit Kats in it. The heck, Sergio. But no, here's the wackiest thing that he got me in this care package. I am scared to drink this. As much as I love it, it needs to come back. Yes, this is Ecto Cooler. This is a juice box of Ecto Cooler. Here's the thing. This is from 2016 when that awful Ghostbusters remake got released. This thing is 6 years old, going on 7. This is either fermented or it's going to give me superpowers if I drink it. I'm not sure which one will happen. So I'm not sure what to, but he had a whole stash of this. He just bought everything. Not kidding. He just bought every Ecto Cooler he could find, and he's just been stashing these for years. So I don't know. Maybe if I drink it, like I said, I'll fulfill one of my life goals of becoming a superhero. Hey, Mr. Reiner, Chris, drink it live so we can find out. I'll think about it. Who are you going to call poison control? You are right, Mr. Batman. Mr. Camo Bat Dad. All right. Oh, wait, I forgot that wasn't the only thing. I put this under the food category because I didn't know where else to put it. This was also in Sergio's little care package. He got me this is the third one I have now, but it's a shaker cup. This one's Ghost because Sergio's a big fan of the Ghost brand. He's got me hooked on the Ghost energy drinks. They are wonderful. They're a little pricey for my taste, but they are wonderful. So, they also have, shake powder for, pre-workout and energy and things like that. He's really into that, and he's slowly but surely sucking me into it. So, oh, wait. Ooh. Wait, is there something in here I didn't know about? Oh, no. It's why is it not rattling? It's because the shaker ball, whatever you want to call it, still in plastic in there. But, so if you like that sort of stuff, go to GNC or a health food store or whatever and check this out. Let me see. Oh, Kim, Kanbanwa. Nice to see you too. I'm glad that you're here. I don't know how exciting this is going to be, but I'm showing off some stuff. I do have things that would be of interest to my podcast listeners. I got a few of those, so don't worry. You'll get to see a couple of them. Like I said, this is pretty low key. We're just hanging out, talking about Christmas. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, for those of you who missed it, feel free to leave comments in here. Tell me what were some of the favorite things you did for Christmas, your favorite Christmas gifts. What did you get in your Christmas haul? I'd love to know about it. So, like I said, we're keeping it cool, hanging out, having a good time. It's Epiphany if you're into that. The end of the 12 days of Christmas. All of this stuff is going away after tomorrow. So, Thanks for stopping by, all of you. And then I have a little thing here that I just call like a miscellaneous category. A lot of it is stuff that's kind of become a little bit of a family tradition. Like my mom in particular, likes getting the kids in the family, her kids, Christmas socks that we can wear year in, year out. So this is what she got me this time. It's like a too cool for you cat who looks, I don't know, he looks a little depressed. I'm not sure. With all tangled up in Christmas lights, wearing a Santa hat, the sunglasses are what sell it for me. So definitely be putting those on next year. A little something here from from my friend Manny. Got me. Let me see if I can get it out of here. So it's a gift card to Xbox Live, which is much appreciated. And then this was another part of Sergio's little care package. It is a cologne sampler. I haven't worn cologne in a while, but it's got like a certificate of authenticity or something here. Let me see. What does this actually say? Oh, this is fancy. I mean, look at that. It was 1790. Oh my. Let me see. Oh no, 1760. Sorry about that. I'm less dyslexic tonight. Let me see. By appointment to the King, to the Queen of England, Victoria, King George IV, Queen Maria Christina of Spain, Emperor Nicholas II of Russia, Emperor Francois Joseph, and Empress Elizabeth of Austria-Hungary, excuse me, Napoleon III, Empress Eugenia, from father to son since 1760. Fancy. What is this? There's another note in here. Okay, what we got? These essences and the absolute are an absolute of flower. These essences and absolute of flowers. Okay, wood, spices, and citrus fruit selected, sorted out, and chosen each year by our this doesn't feel. I think like this needs a little bit of copy editing. Our creator perfumer Olivier Creed are natural as well as our infusions of ambergris, vanilla, and other fragrances. This composition is a blend of prestigious and rare essence. Ooh. The method. Ooh, method. We put an E at the end. Makes it sound really fancy. Of maceration, I hope I said that right, and homemade filtration testifies of a house which knew how to ally tradition and quality for 250 years. Creator, perfumer in Paris, and then there's a funny signature, and I don't know how to read that. But there you go. A little sampler from Sergio. He's into cologne, so he likes spreading the love of cologne, I suppose. Oh, we got a little bit of talk in the chat about Christmas gifts. So, Chris, I got a bunch of movies, books, and Cobra Kai, the saga continues. That's a video game, right? I believe that's a video game. I've seen that on the shelf a few times. Let me see. More from Chris. All cats look that way when you try to dress them up. That is very true. Kim, I got James Rolfe's books, Santa and Gyra figures, and Duncan gift cards along with chocolates, White Castle socks. White Castle, the restaurant? They make socks? And a White Castle gift card from the in-laws. Wow. See, Kim, you're lucky. I live in the second largest city in Indiana, Fort Wayne. We don't have a White Castle. I have to drive all the way to Indianapolis to enjoy a White Castle. Although we do have a local burger place, at least back in the day. I don't know if it's still around anywhere, maybe. Because I didn't really go to this place. So I don't even know if it survived COVID. It's called Powers. Really popular when I was in college, and one of the selling points that these guys would tell me to try to get me to go with them is that you would smell like the place for about a day afterward. I'm like, you know what? I don't know if that's really going to be my thing. So, yeah, I got to drive a ways to go to White Castle. So, Brad here, gift cards that pre-ordered a bunch of stuff that won't be here till July. Is it because it's not releasing until July, or because Amazon or whatever is backed up so much that it's not going to show up until then? Xmas in July. Yep, Xmas in July, Christmas in July. Oh, and Michael talked so much about Sofubi. I got a Manda. Good work, sir. Good work. I've collected a little bit of sofubi myself. It's pretty fun. Let me see. Kim, I didn't know White Castle made socks either. This is news to me, but I would not be surprised that that a restaurant chain would have enough of a fan base that would just make clothing and people would buy it. But anyway, so that was the miscellaneous category. Let me see. What do we want to go to next? Let me see here. Let's do what I call the podcast category. And these are both from my sister. I only got a couple of things here. But this is where the candy from Sweetwater came from. So I have 3 microphones for podcasting purposes, but I only have 2 XLR cables to plug them into my soundboard. So my sister got me a new XLR cable. Very practical. I love it. And then this one was a little bit of a surprise. And the thing is I looked at it and I could either use this as like a lamp. I think it's intended to be a lamp basically, but it might also serve a larger purpose when I'm actually podcasting. Here's the box. It is an on-air sign. And I think, it runs on batteries, but I'll have to plug it into the wall. But I did test it. It does light up. So I thought, I could put this over the top of the master bedroom when I'm podcasting, and then people will know, hey, don't bother him. He's busy. So it's not my favorite gift. My sister did give me my favorite gift of Christmas 2022, but it isn't this. Though this was a very pleasant surprise, to say the least. Yeah, this is the cord for it. Okay, let me see. So now, what do you guys think? I have 3 categories left. I call the media category, so it's books, movies, video games, that sort of stuff. I also have toys and collectibles, and I have homemade gifts. What do you want to see next? Let me know in the chat, because I could go either way with any of these. The homemade stuff is actually really cool, I have to say. Let me see, I kind of put that in the wrong spot there. We'll move this over to here. All right, there we go. And I will say this, just to let you know, my favorite gift of the year is in the homemade category. Let me see. From Camo Bat Dad, Brad. Nice. Official caster status achievement unlocked. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. All right. Okay, Chris is voting for homemade. Brad's voting for homemade. I don't know who else is in there. We're going to go for homemade then. All right. So, here's the first one. And I was actually told that my mom, these were made either by my mother or my sister. Looking back, I think all of these were made by my mother and my sister. So this one was made by my mother, and she's working on another one. She didn't get it done in time for Christmas. And if you are crafty or you know someone who's crafty, this might be a really cool thing to try. So I have this. So it's a placard, you can hang it up. I guess it's not really a placard, but you know what I mean. So you hang it up. Oh, see, got a little signature there from Mom. All right. So you'll notice though that this isn't like plastic or anything. It's fabric. And the interesting thing is this originally was, at least the first time I saw it, it wasn't a meme. I think it kind of became an internet meme, but this was originally a poster, things you learn from video games, got some really funny things, especially if you play old arcade style games, you'll get it, like, was it, if it moves, destroy it. There's no problem that can't be overcome by force. One of my favorite ones on here is death is reversible only for you. This was originally a t-shirt. My mom wanted to know if I had some old t-shirts that wasn't sure I wanted to wear anymore, and I gave her this. And for those of you, the podcast listeners, one of them was a Godzilla shirt, but she said that she needed a larger canvas to do the Godzilla one naturally because kaiju. So this is the one that she was able to get done first. She needs to get another canvas. So yes, this is an old graphic tee that I used to have. I actually forgot I gave it to her, and she made it into little, like I said, placard or whatever, that I can hang up on the wall. So, like I said, you got some old T-shirts that you can't wear anymore, but you like what's on them or something like that. Try this out. I know, like you can't, Brad, you're trying your hand at doing some crafty things. So maybe that's something else that you can try if your hands are hurting too much from trying to sew. Okay, and let me grab this right here. So this right here, I know it just looks like a stuffed cat. It's my mom had some leftover fabric. She knows I love Star Trek, so she made it's like a Star Trek cat. It's got a little bow tie. Bow ties are cool. Little red face and all of that. But we're an animal family. We've had pets basically since as far back as I can remember. So a lot of dogs and cats. So it's a cute little thing, but it's not simply just a little homemade plushie. No. See, here's the phone. It's got a little pouch in the back to hold to hold a cell phone. So that's kind of fun. And then here's the funniest part. The bottom of this thing, in order to weigh it down, those aren't beads. That's popcorn. I could pop, like if I was desperately hungry, I could like open this thing up and pop some popcorn. It's hilarious, and I love it. My mom's a really crafty person. My sister is too, although she's obviously not as experienced at it as my mom is. All right. Oh wait, I did. Now I remember. Okay, yeah, most of the homemade stuff's from mom. It's from my mother and my sister. My real sister, not the pseudo sister. Although my real sister plays the pseudo sister. It's weird. Anyway, so a couple more things here. I have some. These are the ones that were not made by my mother or my sister. These are handmade bookmarks. These were made by my Aunt Carol, my mom's sister. So, you can't go wrong. I have, good Lord, I think I have almost as many bookmarks as I do books. It's kind of insane. So we got those. A lot of them are handmade too, or homemade, I should say. And then there's a little something that, oh wait, did I get everything? I feel like there's something missing here. Or no, okay, so I did get everything here. So these are a couple of handmade things, orange, because one of my favorite colors is orange. Hence why, and also because it's movie accurate, hence why there are, everybody, on Monster Island, in the Monster Island phone boat, wears orange jumpsuits. But, so this is a handmade hot pad. My sister made these. It's a handmade hot pad. I actually have several more of these in my kitchen drawer right now. So that's pretty cool. This one, I wasn't sure what this was actually at first. Now, it had candy in it when I got it. And no, you perverts, stop. I know you're thinking that already. Just stop right now. Stop what you're doing. This is a little pouch you can put on your keychain to keep the chapstick in. Which, given especially now that it's really cold, my lips get dried up pretty bad. So, or if you're sick or something like that. So I keep this with me. I can take this with me everywhere and make it a little easier to get at it. So I had no idea that someone came up with this idea to do something like this. A little chapstick pouch you can put on your keychain. It's a cool little idea that I don't know how many people would necessarily think of that. And then, okay, this next one, I believe, I'm trying to remember who made this one. I can't remember if it was my mom or my sister, but this is like, I know it looks like a little rope that you used to play with a dog, but actually, it's got this little hook on here. This is kind of it's not so much a gag gift, it's homemade, but it's kind of based on, I don't know it's like an old wives' tale, it sounds like. the whole idea is that, it comes with this little card that had to explain this to me, because when I saw this, I'm like, what the heck even is this? Do you like play tug of war with a chihuahua with this thing? And it says, congratulations, you are the proud owner of an Indiana weather forecaster. For best results, hang on a nail outside a window. If it's wet, it's raining. If it's white, it's snowing. If it's stiff, it's freezing. If it's moving, it's windy. If it's gone, take cover. Which is very true. And the problem, and this crazy thing is, if you live in Indiana, you'll probably get a minimum of 3 of those on any given day, because welcome to Indiana. The joke around here is that if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. We got another comment here in the chat from Brad. In my Napoleon voice, I need my chapstick. My lips hurt real bad. I need my chapstick. My lips hurt real bad. Napoleon Dynamite, right? Not the short would-be world conqueror. And then I think my aunt Carol made this one as well. I actually remember my mom made stuff like this back when I was a kid. It's got a funny little facer, but what you do is you squeeze it, and the mouth opens like this, and there's candy inside. So what I did, to be a little funny here, I will reenact it ever so briefly, because it had a little Hershey Kiss in there. There isn't a Hershey Kiss in here. They don't usually put chocolate in these little Sweetwater bags, probably because they know those will melt pretty bad. But I actually took a silly video of this where like this to show off what it is. So we're like, went up to the camera and went, "Merry Christmas!" Oh, it just vomits up a piece of candy. Yes, I turned into a 12-year-old for a hot second on Christmas Day. But don't we all? Don't we all turn into little kids on Christmas Day? It's like the one day that you can get away with it. Okay, and then my mom put this together. It says on there, to Nathan, love always, Mom. And it's a little, a picture frame with I guess you could say, an encouraging sign. Because it's been a little bit of a rough year for me. I don't talk about it a lot on the podcast, but it's been a little bit of a rough year. And, so she put this little thing together. It's got a lion in the background. I like to say that it's Aslan from Narnia. And, my sister got something kind of similar to this, and if you can't read it, it says, "To my son, if they whisper to you, you can't withstand the storm, whisper back, I am the storm. Believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. I love you forever and always. Love, Mom." So, yeah, I know it's a little bit sappy, but, we're big on family around here. Okay. All right. I feel like should I save my favorite gift for the end? You know what? I'm going to save my favorite gift for the end, even though it's in the homemade section. Unless you guys really want to see it right now. I mean, it is absolutely brilliant and funny, I have to say. It's from my sister. What do you say? Save it for last or get it now? See how fast people get back to me on this. We got 4 people in the chat, according to StreamYard here. We'll jam out to some Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We're playing the most popular Trans-Siberian Orchestra song right now. Save it! All right, Brad says save it. Okay. It is saved, sir. All right. Let's do toys and collectibles next. Because this is where we get into some stuff that will be of interest to my podcast listeners. Basically all of them. So, this was, what I'm going to show you now, this was actually a late Christmas present from my friend and fellow podcaster, Becky Bex Smith and her husband. As I sent them a little something, just because I really, really appreciate everything that they've, done for me and the podcast and all that this year. And what I sent, and I think I know why they went with this, because I sent them, because Sailor Moon is one of Bex's just favorite things in the entire world. So I sent her one of these. I don't have the bags here with me to show you, but I sent her one of those little mystery bags that you can buy at collectible stores or geek stores and all that. And there's like a bunch of different things. You don't know which ones you're going to get. I sent her one that was Sailor Moon. So in return, they got me 4 of these things, and they are all Godzilla. And lucky for me, I got a different one. So they sent me 4, and none of them, I didn't get any doubles, which is nice. So got a little poster here, just says Godzilla. And then this one is the, Godzilla himself. Now, here's the thing. On first glance, you're just like, oh, it's Chibi Godzilla. Except this is Chibi Godzilla reenacting a very famous scene in one particular movie. And if Alyssa Goji Geek was in the chat right now, she'd be losing her mind over this. Can anyone tell me which movie this figure was inspired by? Oh, wait. Come on. Give me your best guess. Here's a hint. I haven't covered it yet on the Monster Island Film Vault. It is coming up this season, though. Well, not this season, next season. Excuse me. It's because I know that if things had gone smoothly this year, in 2022, I would be on the verge of starting season 4 right now. As it stands, I'm like 4 or 5 episodes behind. Any guesses? Michael would probably know, or Danny, if they were in here right now. I know you were in here, Michael. You know what this is. Come on, blow everybody's minds and tell everybody. School the noobs. Come on. Got any guesses? Can't hold this up forever. You know what? I'll show you the other ones, and then you can give me your guesses. So I'll leave that one right there. Then we got classic Showa Mechagodzilla, because... All right, and then this one, you would think, and I've heard, supposedly, this is one of the harder ones to get. So some of Bex's good luck with Pokemon cards rubbed off on these. This is not Godzilla. This is the Godzilla Tower from Godzilla vs. Gigan at World Children's Land. So, I know it, like I said, it looks suspiciously similar, but thankfully, not only does it have, the little tower there in front of it, which is definitely movie accurate, but, it's a different color, too. Because Godzilla has only on rare occasions actually been green, people. People think he's green, but he's not actually green. So, there's that one. So, any guesses on this one? Here we go, because we got a comment here. Let me see. Camo Bat Dad, Brad. I got that one and Godzilla Tower. I can't remember where it's from, though. I'm trying to get the tag one. The tag one. What do you mean the tag one? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But, well, since no one has ventured a guess, we do have to move on to, a couple more things. This, I gave you a lot of hints, but this is specifically inspired by Godzilla versus Hedorah, a.k.a. Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. It is coming up in season 4. This is toward the end of the movie when Godzilla when I was growing up, I always thought it was eggs or something, but Hedorah is just a bizarre monster altogether. I think the official story now coming from Toho is that they are actually Hedorah's eyes, which is weird because Hedorah's eyes are red and these are white. I don't know, but he rips them out of Hedorah, and then dries them up with the same giant pseudo, like solar panel thing that he was using to dry out the rest of Hedorah. So, there you go. Oh wait, does this one? Oh, okay, I found another difference. Look, this one actually has a tail. See, this one's got a little tail. And this one's got nothing. Look at that. He's stubby. Look at that. I don't have a tail. That's another difference. And and the spines are different too. See? So instead of this one has a dinky tail, if you can recall, that's more like a stub. like a Manx cat or whatever, has a stubby tail. But this one's got bigger spines. So some nice little design differences there. Let me see. Got some more comments here from Camo Bat Dad. The flat one looks like a tag. Okay, so this one, that's what you mean. Yeah, there are two of them. I did get one of them. Is the other one, because I think the other one has Mothra on it, if I remember correctly. Is that one harder to find than this one? Let me know. But anyway, so that's some of the ones. That's the first one that would be of interest to the podcast listeners. And here's another one. Unfortunately, the box got a little bit beat up in transit when coming from my parents' house back here to the apartment. But, it doesn't look all that bad. So, and I don't know how many people know this. I haven't talked about it as much on the newer podcasts. But if you paid close enough attention, that you'll know, even though I'm podcasting about tokusatsu and kaiju right now, my first fandom love was Star Trek. My all-time favorite movie is Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. I have and so I asked for this specifically so it could go with another one that I have of another character. But like most people in the fandom, and any geek fandom, I do have a little collection of Funko Pops and Khan! So yes, Khan. Now this is not movie Khan. This is original series Khan. Which you can kind of tell. That's the costume that he had in the show. He's crushing a phaser there with his bare hands. So it's not movie Khan, but this is from the original series. I have. I think you can see it on the back here. But this one right there, the Captain Kirk on the captain's chair, looking very thoughtful. I actually have that one on my shelf right now. I really wanted that one because I just love that. If I could somehow get a custom Lazy Boy that looked like a captain's chair, because I've seen these online, they do exist. So it looked like a captain's chair, and then you could put a TV remote in the armrest, and you could hit buttons and make things happen. That would make me the happiest nerd in the world. I'm just saying. But I'm sure if they do exist, I'm sure you can buy them. I'm sure they're ridiculously expensive. And you'd have to be exceptionally crafty, I would say, to actually build one yourself from scratch. And unfortunately, I am not that crafty. But still, Khan! And at least this one's spelled correctly. Let me tell you, I got something else that was Star Trek related. They couldn't even spell his freaking name right. They screwed it up twice. Twice, people. I'll show you in a second. All right. And then there's some funny random odds and ends here in the collectible department. Let me see. We got another comment here. Let me see. From Camo Bat Dad. Yes, they are hard to find. My first one I got, period, was Ebra. Okay. All right. That's good to know. This was another random thing that Sergio threw in his little ridiculous care package. It's a gag gift. I'm not really into these. He just throws them in there just to be funny. But, Garbage Pail Kids cards. He actually trolled me a little bit, made it look like he gave me the movie for Christmas, and I wanted to murder him because I hate that thing. He made me sit through it, and it was one of the worst things I have ever seen. Yes, Power Trip listeners, even worse than Turbo the movie, okay? Turbo the movie is not the worst thing in the world. It's still probably in the top 20, but but the Garbage Pail Kids movie, unless you are inebriated in some way, spare yourself the suffering through that. But yeah, cards are amusing. And it's kind of appropriate because I gave Sergio a collectible figure of one of the more famous Garbage Pail Kids, which was Atom, A-T-O-M, no, A-D-A-M, excuse me, Atom Bomb, Tish. So got those right there. And then my sister just randomly gave this to me because she got a bunch of them as, I think it was a white elephant. And she just said, pick a color. I picked orange because she had this collection of little ninja figurines. I like to think that, he's a lost Kaku Ranger, the orange one, because, there hasn't really been an Orange Ranger except in a fantasy sequence. So, here you go. All right. And then, well, no, let's go with this one. And then this came in a bag, funny little bag. And I made a little video and sent this to a couple of friends. But it's a figurine. This is from my friend Josh, who's fond of getting me some Godzilla figures now to add to the collection. Pretty sure this is a Bandai. The last time I showed off one of these figures, it was a Shin Godzilla. I was accused of having a bootleg, and I'm like, I showed this to people who know about this stuff better than me, sir, and they told me that it was not a bootleg. So, now his arms can't move or anything. His head can't move. He's got some hip joints, so the hip joints can move a little bit, as you can see. About as big and cumbersome as the actual suit they used for that movie. But here's the cool part. So like I said, not a whole lot of points of articulation. And the horns a little, off kilter there. But here's the coolest part. Oh. It's got joints for the wings. Oh, that's cool. I'm Batman. All right. And this is one of a couple of gifts that I got from Michael Hamilton, Michael Canadian Baconton, one of my co-hosts on the Power Trip. It was on a little list that I sent him. He thinks that if he sends this to me, that I'll shut up about it. I make no promises, but I'm an action figure. Yes, the Super 7 Rito figure. I mean, come on. I'm an action figure. I kind of have to have it. If I'm telling you, and if there's ever a Rito Lightning Collection figure, I will probably grab that too, because at this point, I mean, unless there are other audio dramas out there with that have Rito in it, I'm the only Rito. The original voice actor unfortunately died about, Lord, it was like 10, 12 years ago. It was a while ago. But yeah, so this is going to be pretty cool. He's going to stay in the packaging though. Super 7 reaction figures like this, you don't really want to take out of the bags. I mean, out of the packaging. So, because, well, honestly, part of the appeal is the packaging, the retro style packaging. So, thanks a lot, Michael. I really appreciate it. Still can't promise he won't show up on the podcast. Okay, and then I'll come over here and we'll do the, I guess you call it, I call it the media category. So it's all books and movies and things like that. But, so got The Batman, which, I don't think it's the best Batman movie ever made, but, there's a lot that's going for it. Also a lot going against it, but I'm not going to turn this into a movie review stream right now. But, I was glad to get this finally. And then this is an upgrade. This is from my brother Jared, who's also my roommate. I wasn't asking for this, but it's nice to have. He got me the Blu-ray Steelbook of Galaxy Quest. Now I have Galaxy Quest on DVD, but this is really fancy. I have to say, this is really nice. So I don't mind upgrading in this case. So if anybody wants to pick up a DVD copy of Galaxy Quest, let me know. So let me see. We got a comment here. Oh my gosh. Get out of my way, Destroyer. And Rito. Got to get to the mouse. Let me see. Christopher Reiner. Rito will never go away, Michael. All he needs is a Goldar. There is a Goldar. Let me see. Is it on here? Yep. There is a Goldar. So should I get Michael the Goldar, or should I get Goldar for myself so that way Rito can have a friend? Yeah. I like that. I like how you think, Mr. Reiner. I like it a lot. All right. Next up, also from my brother / roommate, the remastered version. It's so funny. This game's only like 10 years old and they're remastering it, but whatever. But, the real Ghostbusters 3, at least before Afterlife. We don't talk about the 2016 movie. That's the remastered version. It's on the PS4. It was originally on the PS3. I do have it on the PS3, but it's cool to have it, like this. So there's that. And then, you know what? I'm gonna save these last two here. Probably gonna save for last because they're kind of sort of gag gifts. Christopher Reiner, both. Yes, quite. See, it's finally come. But so let's go over these. So this is the other Star Trek related thing I was mentioning. This is from Danny DeManna, and it's a Star Trek Christmas picture book. It's very amusing. The artwork in this, it's very nice. And if there's some serious, if you read through this, there's some serious deep cuts. You got to really know your Star Trek to catch everything in here, and which is really cool. And it goes all the way from like the original series, I think, all the way to Discovery. I think it's Discovery. But here's the thing that just ground my gears. It's this 2-page spread right here. Okay? This is amusing. This is a bunch of villains from Star Trek getting together, singing Christmas carols, because that's just how things roll. And, obviously, here's Mr. Khan. Okay? Mr. Khan right here. Well, here's where I said we get into some serious problems. You would think that there would have been some better quality control, some better editing, shall we say, for this, because nerds like me are going to see it really fast, particularly if we're the writer-editor types, because good Lord, okay, just to prove my point, I should have grabbed the movie off of my shelf to make this apparent, but where's the Funko? All right, so just as a frame of reference, because this is spelled correctly, all right, see that? Okay, Khan. Remember that. All right, this had both a writer and an illustrator. So, first example, the illustrator got it wrong. Okay. All right, this is a funny joke, but I'm like, wait a minute, that is not correct, sir. All right, and if it was just there, they're like, okay, I might be willing to let it slide once, but nope. The writer got it wrong too. I don't know, let me see. See? They both had the same typo. You've got of all the things, like there's a bunch of made up words and names in this that they spell correctly. But one of the most iconic villains in all of Star Trek, and they couldn't spell his freaking name right. I'm going to rant master about this right now. I'm just, gosh. And it was both of them. Both of them screwed it up. The same error occurs twice on the same page. And this somehow got past quality control. The heck? 1 star. Actually, no, I didn't give it 1 star on Goodreads. I think I gave it 4. It lost a whole star for making the same typo on both. on the same page. But good Lord. We got someone else in the chat here. Welcome, Bailey Mador. How does that get messed up out of all things? Exactly, sir. Exactly. Well, madam, I don't know. With a name like Bailey, that could go either way. But, my apologies if I got that wrong. But, yeah, exactly, Bailey. Exactly. Oh, my gosh. But, otherwise, it is really cute. The framing story, if you want to call it this, is that, the first page is, the Enterprise. But the framing story is a Gorn reading a bedtime story to his little Gorn daughter, and it's just all about how terrible the Federation is. So all of the the heroes in Star Trek. It's like how awful they all are. And, it's really funny. Hence why there's that one of the villains singing Christmas carols, and he's being really nice to him. And and then is this the actual last page? No, it's not the actual last page, but it's the end of the framing story. So it's this is after he finishes reading the book. It's cute. Reading the book to his Gorn daughter, and she's dreaming, I'm guessing, of maybe it's her dad, I don't know, of trying to kill Captain Kirk in that classic episode of the original series, Arena. It's admittedly not Star Trek's best episode, but it's one of the most entertaining and one of the most iconic, in large part because of the Gorn. So, I'm a big fan of that one. Okay. And then show these off a little bit. Let me see. Let me see. From Christopher Reiner. Quality control equals drunk George the Third. Drunk WHG3. You are probably right, sir. You are probably right. All right. So, next up, this is something I've been wanting to get for a long time. I've written a lot of things in my life. I've been trained how to, through schooling and just throwing myself into the fire with some of these things. I have learned to write a lot of different things. What I have not studied as extensively that I would love to do, it's like one of my bucket list items, is I want to write a comic book. Now, I'd illustrate one. I don't have the artistic skills to do that, but I would love to write a comic book. So there, I have a book written by Stan Lee on how to do that. It's a big hardback book. Still need to read that one. But I wanted to get a couple of other books. I've gotten some recommendations from people. This one is considered a classic of how to, well, I don't want to say it that way because I don't give away what it is, but this is considered a classic of how to learn how the format is set up. So it's not really on how to write comic books, but it is how to, understand comics. Scott McCloud. Yeah. So this is more like a discussion of comics as a genre and medium. And the funniest part, the thing that's just so cool about this is that it's also a comic. So it shows you how comics work, and it's a comic. Not like some big tome of text. No. Or with a handful of panels as examples. No, it is an actual comic. So, I think this book turns 30 this year. So, it's still considered one of the gold standards. And if you look on the back here and you just see the people who've endorsed this, it's a pretty big deal. Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore. If you're into comics, those names are huge, absolutely huge. So I'm looking forward to diving into this. And there's other ones that go along with this, because obviously when you get one hit book, even if it's nonfiction, you're going to write more because that's how it works. So there's other ones in this particular series, and I've gotten a couple of other recommendations from people about, some how to write comics books I'm going to be looking into. Really want to just immerse myself. I've been reading comics since I was a kid, so I have a kind of an intrinsic understanding of how the medium works, but I really want to understand it, as a writer, so that I know how to play around with the format. So there's that one. This one was a little bit of a surprise, and I'm glad I got it. Again, shout out to Alyssa Charpentier. I already had, where'd he go? Yeah. So we already had, Hedera Godzilla. That got her a shout out. Well, here's one that's even more specific. This is not just something that embodies one of her favorite, her favorite movie, period. Ta-da! I got book 2 of her ongoing trilogy. And I have the first one. I'm going to be plowing through this and the first one very soon. I'm looking forward to reading these. She has been hustling hard. I got to meet her at G-Fest, had her on the podcast earlier this year. She's an absolute delight, incredibly talented, multi-talented, and she is serving in the Navy over in Japan, living the dream and serving our country. Thank you for your service. So I can't wait to dive into this. The way she talks about it sounds like it's one of the scariest things you're ever going to read. Well, I'm like, you know what? I kind of understand. because I write some things that would be considered a little unsavory as well in the Christian community. She's a fellow believer. So that should be fun. So these next two are kind of gag gifts. This is also from Sergio and that big old care package that he put together, because he knows that what this is referencing, I hate everything it stands for. In fact, I got myself a little bit internet infamous for speaking out against it in what I thought was a humorous fashion, but people didn't get the joke. But 50 Shades of Chicken. I love how the author's name is F.L. Fowler, but Tish. And this, it's a cookbook. Get your heads out of the gutter. It's a cookbook. But yeah, 50 chicken recipes bound, but Tish, to be delicious. Yeah, so yeah, New York Times bestseller. I wonder if it's because it fooled people into thinking it was something else. Yeah, but my brother in particular eats a lot of chicken, so we might actually experiment with this a little bit. I was flipping through looking at some of these recipes, and some of the admittedly some of the imagery in here is intentionally provocative, as you can see. So part of the joke, I think. Trying to look up, see if there's any more. Yeah, but as jokes go, I got to give him credit for committing to it. Let's just see. Even some of the stuff on the back. Wait, what is this? This isn't just about getting me hot till my juices run clear and then a little rest. There's pulling, jerking, stuffing, trussing. He promises we'll start out slow with wine and good oiling. I hadn't read the back of this until just now. Oh my gosh. It ends with holy crap. So begins the initiation of a young, free-range chicken at the hands of a mysterious, domineering cook. This spoof in a cookbook makes dinner a turn-on with 50 recipes that will enthrall you. Oh my gosh. And then the recipes it lists on here. So dripping thighs, sticky fingers, chicken sub. That actually sounds kind of normal. Chicken with a lard on. But Tish. And learning to trust you. Wow. I have no words. I have no words. And so we're going to move on. But then we have another gag gift. This is from you, Michael. You're still in the chat or you're still watching. So besides Rito here, this is what else he gave me. Ha ha. Ha ha. I get it. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah. Snarky bonehead. Dummies. I get the message. But the joke was a little bit on Michael. And I've shared this on social media. I took a picture of this. But the joke's a little bit on Michael. First off, as usual, the chapter titles in this particular series are kind of gold. You think it's funny, huh? Brad? I can tell you. Yeah, you think it's funny. But here is the best part, though. Michael was accidentally brilliant. Because that's usually the only way he can be brilliant is by accident. Let me see. Where did it go? Wait, where'd it go? Is it on the next page here? This is great streaming. Oh, here it is. Table of contents. You know what? I'm not going to use the table of contents. I'm actually going to go to that chapter. It'll be easier to see, too. This is the chapter title. Are you ready for this? Go, power podcasters. It doesn't really flow with the rhythm of it. It's got too many syllables, but still. Now, admittedly, that's the most relevant to me personally. But the chapter titles in this book, there's something else, to say the least. There's something else. Let me see. The hills are alive with the sound of podcasting. That's one. Podsibilities. But I'm Tish. Let me see. What else do we have in here with some of the other goofier ones? Podcasting with the G-Man. By that, it means Google. I don't think I'm going to start calling Google G-Man, especially since I know the real G-Man, and I don't think he likes being compared to Google. Let me see, and then go power podcasters. Yeah, let me see. 2 for the Rode, but I'm Tish, Rode, the mic company, the microphone company. I'm a big fan of Rode mics, by the way. Well, just Rode in general. I mean, my soundboard is a Rode. Let me see. The hills are alive with the sound of podcasting. Interview Foo. Oh, that's just the main title. No, the subtitle for Interview Foo is Talk to Me, Grasshopper. I guess I could argue that that's sort of a Kamen Rider reference, so it is once again kind of relevant to my podcasting. What are you waiting for? Record already! I hear that from Michael every time we podcast. That's about time management, when you're recording. Clean up podcast dial 8. Editing with Audacity. Christopher Reiner, you might want to get this yourself. I know you're wanting to get into podcasting now yourself. Let me see. What are some of the other silly things in here? Shrink that puppy and slap a label on it. What? That just sounds weird. A kilobit of me and a whole lot of you. What? Let me see. Show note etiquette. Show notes are grossly underappreciated in the podcast world. I take great pride in my show notes. Fortunately, it seems like Podbean doesn't really like my show notes. It keeps cutting them off. Wish it would tell me when it did that. Gathering listener feedback. Not a funny one. I just that's part of the shtick. Fishing for listeners. Show me the money! Podcasting for publicity. Podcasting for passion. Can we do both? One giant leap for podcasting. Streaming content. Oh, kind of like what we're doing now. The 10 types of podcasts to check out. Let me see. I'm looking at these. Some of these are kind of broad, I have to say. I'm not going to read them all. Top 10 reasons to podcast. If this was David Letterman, this would be a series of jokes. Kind of do several of these. Won't say what they are because you should, go get that. 10 original podcasters. I don't know who any of these people are. What does that say about me? Podcaster, I don't know who any of these quote-unquote original podcasters are. I don't see Kyle Yount in here. Why isn't Kyle Yount in here? Or Ben Avery. Those are the podcasters who've had the biggest impact on me personally. Outside of the friends I knew who started podcasting not too long after podcasting became a thing, and I got to be on their show. Yeah, seriously, what the heck, book? What the heck? I expect when you make a second edition of this that me and all of my friends are going to be in it. You hear me? You hear me, for dummies? Anyway. All right. It is now time to share my favorite Christmas gift of the year. And there are many reasons for this. One, it's homemade. Two, it's from my sister. And three, the presentation was gold. So I opened up this little box and there's this little note here. And it said, "Open me first." And I'm like, what's going on here? And then I open this up. And then I see here a photo, a photocopy of a page from one of my novels. This is from Ninjas and Talking Trees, my fantasy comedy. So like, okay, I recognize that. And just for context, the hero at this point, who's from our world, he's an accountant from Fort Wayne, Indiana, because write what you know, and he's been thrust into this eccentric fantasy world, and the only way he can get home is to basically become the chosen one. So it plays on a lot of tropes in fantasy films. So at this point, he's been captured by the villain and made to fight in this gauntlet of gladiatorial matches. And it goes from like fighting soldiers to fighting monsters, and it just keeps escalating as he goes. Well, in this particular scene, he's fighting a Cyclops because the Cyclops is like 20 feet tall. All right. So what I was going for in this is that the Cyclops has a giant war hammer as his weapon. All right. Well, she highlighted this because she informed me that I need to edit that book again because there were typos that slipped through. So if any of you read the book, please let me know if there are more than what my sister told me, because I need to fix this. I really thought I caught everything and that the people I sent the book to caught everything. But anyway, this was supposed to say croquet mallet. Except I didn't write croquet. Crochet. A crochet mallet. She made it for me. The crochet mallet. It looks like Mjolnir. I am worthy to wield Mjolnir. I have the power of Thor. Crochet Thor. I love my sister so much. It's a little, got to be delicate with this. This does have a rod in it to help it have something of a shape, but I got to be a little ginger with it. So, favorite Christmas present of the year. Shout out to my sister Sarah Marchand. I did a live stream with her as a bonus episode on MIFV because we talked about a monster movie, that being The Grinch, because it's our guilty pleasure for Christmas. So there you go. Crochet mallet. I'll have to make sure I change it to croquet mallet in a future edition of the book. Quick comment here from Camo Bat Dad. Brad, laughing my butt off. My son's learning how to do that. That's great. Oh, man. Yeah, like I said, my mom and my sister are very crafty. Anyway, I just got a notification from my laptop that it's low on power. So if I don't get off here basically now, my computer's going to die and the stream will suddenly end. I want to spare you that. Plus, I've got some more podcast prep to do for tomorrow. Drew and I are going to try to record 2 episodes of Henshin. Just got a new Henshin out today. So I will bid you adieu. Happy Epiphany. Happy 12th day of Christmas. Happy belated Christmas. However you want to do it. Thank you for joining me for this little hangout session. And hopefully, I'll do some more stuff like this in the future if it's not over stuff that is specific to my podcast. So, like I said, see you later. Have a good night. God bless.